Welcome dear student. In one another session, myself Darshana Sandeep Shinde from KK Wagh Institute of Pharmacy, Chandori, Nasik. Our today's discussion topics is analgesic antipyretic. Learning outcomes of our today's topic are students should be able to understand what is meant by antipyretic and anti-inflammatory drug, then classification of antipyretic and anti-inflammatory drugs, then absorption, fate, excretion of salicylates. Let's start our session. In that, first of all, we see what is meant by anti-inflammatory drug or NSAID drugs. Agent also have the antipyretic and anti-inflammatory properties. Therefore, the name as the analgesic antipyretic. These are called as the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, that is NSAID. Then what is meant by antipyretic? Antipyretics are the agent which reduce the elevated body temperature. Anti-inflammatory drugs, these are the anti-inflammatory agent used to produce sympathetic relief from the inflammation. Then what is meant by inflammation? We see it is in fact a process involving the series of events that are initiation by the stimulus. Stimulus may be injury to the tissue, infection by microorganism, or certain mediators released by antigen-antibody reactions. The response to this stimulus are described as an anti-inflammatory response, and it consists of a clinical signs such as the localized edema, paining, and sometimes fever. The edema is also stagnation of the tissue fluid that result from the vasodilation and differ or plasma water. The synthesis of release of the prostaglandin and cytokinase are associated with the paining and fever. For the paining and fever, these two prostaglandin and cytokinin is responsible. Then classification of antipyretic analgesic drug. The major class of antipyretics are classified into following drugs by chemical structure. First one is salicylates. Example of its aspirin, sodium salicylate. Then second is a para-aminophenol derivatives. Example of it paracetamol and phenacetin. And third pyrazole derivatives. Example of it phenylbutazone and oxyphenylbutazone. Then fourth one is the indole acetic acid derivatives. Example of it indomethacin. Then fifth one is the anthracic acid derivatives. Example of the mefenamic acid. Sixth one is the propanonic acid derivatives. Example of it is the isoprofen and naproxen. We see the one by one. First of all, we see the salicylates. Salicylates are the most popular and effective analgesic agents. Salicylates are the acetyl salicylic acid is most widely used to amongst the salicylates. We see the absorption, fate, and excretion of the salicylate. Salicylates are have the gastric pH favor. It favors the gastric pH and absorption of the salicylates. Then these are always given on the food to prevent the gastric irritation. That means in an empty stomach, salicylates are not preferred to take it. Prevent the gastric irritation, which may be lead to the nausea and vomiting. Then another way of preventing the gastric irritation by the sodium salicylate is to given the sodium bicarbonate with the salicylate. Then the excretion of the salicylates in the urine is pH dependent, and increase in the pH of the urine increases its absorption. Then elimination of the aspirin as a salicylic acid in urine. The next one is the salicylates are the well absorbed from the stomach than the intestine because they are weak acids. This is the fate, absorption and excretion of the salicylates. After that, we see the pharmacological action of the aspirin or salicylates. First one, pharmacologically activity of aspirin is totally dose dependent. Then at a normal temperature dose, it has analgesic, antipyretic and anti-inflammatory properties, while at a higher doses, it has a uricosuric effect. Then It has a both peripheral and central system effects. And then the mechanism of its action include the inhibition of the enzyme, cyclooxygenase and prostaglandin synthetase. It has the following effects. We see one by one effects of the salicylates. First one, it has the analgesic action. In that, salicylate produces relief of a pain without producing marked impairment of the mental activity. Then antipyretic action, it shows the antipyretic action. Aspirin resets the metabolism of the heat regulation to function the normal body temperature. This is the antipyretic effect. Then effect on respiration. In that, salicylate also stimulate directly medullary respiration center. Then fourth effect of salicylate is on the anti-inflammatory and anti-rheumatic effect. In that, aspirin and indomethacin are supposed to inhibit the release of the substances that causes the anti-inflammatory effect. Then next effect is uricosuric effect. The action of salicylate on the uric acid excretion is due to the loss of the salicylates. Uricosuric means that is the in that excretion of uric acid is preferred. Then sixth effect of salicylate is on the metabolic effect. In that, salicylates are enhance the utilization of glucose, effective in the dermatological disorders, keratolytic disorders, rubefacient effect. That is metabolic effect of salicylates. Then next we see the second class, that is para-aminophenol. It is divided into two parts, phenacetin and paracetamol. First we see the paracetamol. Paracetamol is a major metabolite of the phenacetin resulting from the deethylation. Like the aspirin, it also exhibits the effective analgesic and antipyretic properties but lack of the anti-inflammatory action. Paracetamol is the comparatively safe drug and is well absorbed on the oral administration. It is metabolized in the liver, excreted in the urine. Paracetamol is given orally in the dose of 300 to 600 milligram every 4 hours. Large dose of the paracetamol are the hepatotoxicity. It produces hepatotoxicity. First of all, we see what is meant by ethylation. That is the breaking of the covalent bond between a substrate and the ethyl group. The next class of next drug under this class is phenacetin. Phenacetin is an effective analgesic and antipyretic with the activity similar that of the aspirin but has no anti-inflammatory action. Then phenacetin causes the methahemoglobinulamine. Then the long-term use of the phenacetin leads to the toxic manifestation of the renal papillary necrosis. Then, due to the severe toxic effect, phenacetin has now been withdrawn from the clinical practices. We see what is meant by methanoglobinemia. It is a blood disorder in which the too little oxygen is delivered to your cell, and methanoglobinemia is a blood disorder in which abnormal amount of methanoglobin is produced in the blood. That is, hemoglobin is the protein in a red blood cell, that is RBC, that carries the distribute the oxygen to the body. Methanoglobinemia is a form of hemoglobin. Next we see the third category is pyrazolone derivative. In that example of it, phenylbutazone. Phenylbutazone is a drug administered orally or parenterally. It is well absorbed orally. It is extensively bound to the plasma protein in the liver. It is oxidized to the oxyphenbutazone, which is an active metabolite. Then pharmacological action of phenylbutazone is analgesic antipyretic action of phenylbutazone are much less than the anti-inflammatory action is remarkable. It is reduce capillary permeability and also inhibit the biosynthesis of prostaglandin and thus act as an anti-inflammatory drug. Adverse effect of phenylbutazone includes epigastric discomfort, nausea, vomiting may occur if the drug is taken on empty stomach. Besides these, certain cases, hepatic ulceration, aplastic anemia, or granulocytosis have been also be observed in the condition such as the hepatitis and nephritis. Then therapeutic uses involves Anti-inflammatory drugs are used in the treatment of the rheumatoid arthritis, that is osteoarthritis. And second, it is also used in the treatment of the gout or due to uricosuric effect. Hepatitis means are referred to the inflammation condition of the liver. It is commonly caused the viral infection. Then nephritis means inflammation of the kidney, which causes the impaired kidney function. Then rheumatoid arthritis, an autoimmune disease characterized by the chronic inflammation of the joint. And then osteoarthritis means it is characterized by the deterioration of cartilage joint, result in the bone rubbing together and creating stiffness, pain, and impaired movement. Then next class is indoacetic acid derivative. It is also divided into two parts, indomethacin and second one is the sulindac. We see the one by one. First of all, indomethacin. Indomethacin exhibit analgesic, antipyretic, inflammatory action as that of the aspirin. It is used like it causes the headache, giddiness, vertigo, gastric upset because of a high incidence of a side effect with the chronic administration. It is used not recommended unless the aspirin therapy is not effective or not tolerated. Then second drug is a sulindac. Sulindac is closely related to indomethacin. It is a potent inhibitor of the cyclooxygenase and it is less toxic than the indomethacin. It is a prodrug. Sulfide metabolite is active. And then it is mainly used in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis. And it has an analgesic, antipyretic, and anti-inflammatory action as that of the aspirin. These are the feature of the sulindac. Now we see what is meant by ankylosing spondylitis. Ankylosing spondylitis is a type of the arthritis that involve the bone function, leading to the pain in the lower back. The next one is the anthrenic acid derivatives. In that, first one is a mefenamic acid. Mefenamic acid as an acid derivative which quite effective in the chronic dull aching pains. However, it is a weaker analgesic than the aspirin. Toxic reactions of the mefenamic acid include the gastric upset, diarrhea, dizziness, headache, skin rash, hemolytic anemia, and blood dyscrasia. Then sixth class is a propionic acid derivatives. It has the example of its ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is one of the important propionic acid derivative. Inhibition of the prostaglandin synthase. Due to this property, it exhibits a strong analgesic, antipyretic, and a strong anti-inflammatory action. Analgesic ibuprofen have. The side effect of ibuprofen is gastric irritation, vomiting, heartburn, and diarrhea. It also useful in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, ankylosing spondylitis. It can be used in the alternative to aspirin, which cannot tolerate the aspirin. Dichrosis means is a non-specific term that refers to the disease or disorder, especially of the blood. Later, it is called as the blood dyscrasia. Before the modern medicine, it means the imbalance of the four fluid tissue, that is blood, bile, and phlegm. Phlegm is a secretion in our nose. The next one is the oxycum derivatives. Example of its pyroxicum. Pyroxicum is the oxycum derivative which has the analgesic, antipyretic, and anti-inflammatory action similar to the aspirin and indomethacin. It over the aspirin that can be administered single a day in a dose. It is used in the treatment of the rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and even in gout. Then last one classification is miscellaneous agents. Example of it that is diclofenac. Diclofenac is a phenyl acetic acid derivative developed as an anti-inflammatory agent. Then it has analgesic, antipyretic, and anti-inflammatory action like the NSAID drugs. And it is a more potent agent than the indomethacin and naproxen. It is recommended for the long-term treatment in the rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and spondylitis. It is also useful in the muscular skeletal disorder, post-pain, and dysmenorrhea. Gout is a common, just like arthritis, often in joint disease. A summary we covered in this session: antipyretic and anti-inflammatory drugs, classification of antipyretic and anti-inflammatory drugs, absorption fate of salicylates, and adverse reaction of the salicylates. Then we see the different class of the drug, indolacetic acid. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening me. If you have any queries, then contact me. Thank you.